For the next 4 years, you'll be hearing plenty about the Browns Stadium lease coming to an end with the city of Cleveland.
But what's next? And how could it affect you? Neil Fisher sat down with former Cuyahoga County Executive Armond Budish to learn more about the ins and outs of a stadium lease.
For a sports team, it's not strictly an economic decision. There's a reputation factor that a city gets. There's a love for the teams that a city has. So, you got to factor that in as well.
The dreams of an entire city are often tied to their sports teams, but big league success doesn't come cheap.
Cleveland is the smallest metropolitan area with 3 major league sports teams: basketball, baseball, and football. That is expensive.
With just over 4 years left on the lease at Cleveland Browns Stadium, local leaders are now up against the clock in talks with team owners Jimmy and Dee Haslam about the future of the team and its home.
The county, the city, and the state were able to pay for the renovations for the Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse and Progressive Field out of existing sources of funds. No new taxes were levied.
Former Cuyahoga County Executive Armond Budish was at the table with the Guardians and Cavaliers, helping to extend their leases into the next decade. But he says the Browns face different challenges and different funding sources.
That money is not there for a new or renovated Browns stadium, so they're going to have to come up with a source for the funds.
The sin tax on alcohol and tobacco only generates $14 million per year, split among all 3 teams equally to help fund renovations, and is set to expire in 2034. And just how much might fall on the average taxpayer is still unknown. But that isn't the only issue. Location is also a key factor between keeping a renovated stadium in its current footprint or needing to build new.
The city is looking at different lakefront development plans, including the land bridge idea, to make that more possible that there will be development around the stadium.
In his State of the City speech last spring, Mayor Justin Bibb made his views clear.
I'm no longer going to risk general revenue fund dollars for maintenance of a privately owned football franchise. So we got to be creative. We got to think differently about financing.
Budish, now the Mandel Public Service Executive in residence at Cleveland State University,
our budget
says state funding will also need to play a larger role.
I don't want to let the state off the hook here. The state has some skin in this game, needs to put some skin in the game financially.
But the pressure is on, with the Bengals lease set to expire even sooner in 2026. They, too, are exploring renovation plans.
If the state has to do double the number of dollars they're going to have to pay, that creates more of an issue. So we're in a tough financial issue right now.
A tough issue for a tough town.
Here we go.
Cleveland is a Browns town. The fans, the residents love, let me underline, love the Cleveland Browns. That's very significant. So I'm very optimistic that we'll be able to keep all 3 teams.
While there's still more than 4 years remaining on the lease for the Cleveland Browns, I'm told the Browns ownership and the city of Cleveland meet monthly to discuss their plans for a shared vision of the lakefront, which Budish tells me hints towards renovations to Cleveland Browns Stadium, not necessarily a new stadium. I'm also told both sides are looking for a commitment by the end of the first quarter next year. Russ, Betsy.
Neil Fisher, thank you so much.